Watch this video before spending rerolls in Anime Vanguards Update 8. So this is a follow-up to my previous video where I talked about power creep, and one of the most biggest problems that will actually have is now that almost every unit is worth rerolling on and worth obtaining, how do you actually have enough rerolls to make the most out of it and make any of them actually good? These are comments from my previous videos that I will be answering in today's video. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe, and our goal is to get to 100k subscribers eventually, and only you guys can help me get to this goal. So please, if you want to be part of the OG sub and help me out, don't forget to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright, first, let me preface this by saying that all that we're going to talk about today is in the context that we are in the update 7.5 and above, alright? Because before update 7.5, power creep was so slow that you could essentially just work on pretty much any unit and that unit will stay in the meta for a long time. Now, in the current meta, the meta moves a lot faster, and characters can sometimes get out of the meta after several updates, but it's not that fast where it's not worth rerolling on anybody anymore. So today, I'm going to be giving you guys a couple of tips I think will help out free-to-play players and people who also spend money but not that much money. My first tip is going to be just reroll on whoever you want. That's basically my first tip. Now, again, this is in the context that now everybody is worth getting. You can pretty much reroll on anybody that you want to, right? Like, for example, in this update, Guts is good, Falcon is good, the King is good, even the Battle Pass units are actually pretty good. Now, the Battle Pass units are better with Ethereal, I believe, not Monarch, or maybe Deadeye instead of Monarch, so you don't really need to get Monarch on Goblin Slayer, but he's a meta character. But basically, there's only really a few things that you need to understand. If you want to reroll on a character that you really like, make sure that he is in at least broken tier or meta, very high in the meta. Now, I'm gonna give you guys several ways to find out how to determine if a character is in broken or in meta later on in this video, but basically, just reroll on whoever you want to. Now that everybody is pretty much worth obtaining, you can now reroll on anybody you want to. However, with one condition, the character that you want to reroll on has to be high in the meta or in broken tier, because if they're sub-meta or below meta or not really very high in the meta and you reroll on them, chances are they're going to get power crept or move down the tier list to maybe sub-meta after a few updates, and obviously we don't want that. Since rerolls are very limited, you want to make the most use out of them. Now, after this one, my next tip, and probably the most important tip, is only reroll once you have 1,500 rerolls on. Now, if you want to ignore my previous tip and just want to make the most out of your rerolls, the best way to do that is only reroll once you have 1,500 rerolls on you. And while you're saving up your rerolls to get to 1,500, you're watching the meta progress. You're watching the meta every single day, right? Like, let's say, for example, right now, the best unit in the game is Yuaba, Falcon, and Sukuna. Those are the top units in the game right now. Kaguya is pretty good as well. Esconar is still pretty good. And if you had 1,500 rerolls right now, you'd roll on those units that are at the top of the meta right now. You'd roll on them, right? And you'd guaranteed be able to get those units Monarch and be able to use them for a very long time. Now, the reason why I don't recommend people to be rerolling while they don't have 1,500 rerolls is a problem that I often see. Like, let's say, for example, right now, you reroll on Sukuna and you only have 800 rerolls, right? For example, like me, I have 800 rerolls. Let's say I reroll on Sukuna and I don't have enough rerolls to basically get to pity. Let's say I keep rerolling on him, reroll, and in the next update, which is update 8.5, which is where Vegeta is going to be releasing, Vegeta comes out and he becomes the most powerful unit in the game. Now, instead of being able to reroll on that character, I have to reroll on Sukuna first because I already invested a bunch of rerolls on this character, which honestly kind of sucks. But had I saved my rerolls until I got to 1,500, I would probably get to 1,500 by around 8.5 and be able to get Monarch on the best unit in the game, Vegeta, if Vegeta does ever become the best unit in the game. Basically, what this does is, while you're saving rerolls, you get to observe who the best unit is in the meta and allows you to efficiently reroll on the best units all the time. Because you don't have that many rerolls, you have to make sure that you're rerolling either on the units that you want the most or the most powerful units in the game, right? For example, me, I really wanted to get a Monarch on the King. I really wanted to get a Monarch on him, even though he wasn't broken. He was just good enough, like pretty good actually in the meta. So I got Monarch on him. That's basically example 1. There's also another example. I didn't really want to get Monarch on Sukuna, but I'll probably have to get Monarch on Sukuna because of how high he is in the tier list. And basically, that's basically the 2 most important tips that I have for you guys, right? I don't think there's really that many other tips that I have. Basically, the most important thing to take away here is reroll on whoever you want to reroll, right? If you want to just reroll on a favorite character that you have, reroll on that character, assuming or as long as that character that you want to reroll on is pretty high in the tier list or pretty high in the meta. Now, if you want to make the most out of your rerolls, you have to watch the tier lists, watch the meta right now in the game, and only reroll once you have 1,500 rerolls so that you can efficiently reroll on the best units every time. So hopefully that was understandable. This is my current strategy right now, and it's one of the reasons why I haven't rerolled on Sukuna yet, even though I could easily just buy the bundles. It's one of the reasons why I haven't rerolled on Sukuna yet, because I want to efficiently be able to just reroll on the best unit. So if in update 8.5 Sukuna is still the top 1 unit, I'll probably reroll on Sukuna. But if Vegeta is the top 1 unit in the next update, I'll probably reroll on Vegeta. Or I'll probably still reroll on Vegeta because Vegeta is one of my favorite characters. So yeah, because Vegeta's probably going to be high in the tier list anyways, no matter what happens. So that's actually pretty nice. Now, how do you determine if a character is pretty high in the tier list? Now, there's 2 ways to determine this. One is the Anime Vanguards tier list. The Anime Vanguards tier list considers, I believe, just how good those characters are in the competitive scene. I don't really think it considers how good these characters are in competitive scenes, which is why Yuhaba and Sukuna is very high in this list, which is really, really good. In my tier list, though, basically what I do there, I consider how easy and convenient those units are to use. And also my tier list right now is kind of outdated because that was before Gojo and Sukuna came out. But yeah, basically, you can either use my tier list and take a look at who is at the top, or take a look at the Anime Vanguards tier list and take a look at who is at the top here. Because in my opinion, this is pretty accurate. And every time I make my tier list, I also kind of base it on what the actual tier list is thinking. But my take on the tier list is I have to put convenience, right? For example, in my opinion, I'd put Escanor above some of these other units because of how convenient he is. But honestly, this is probably the placement that I'd be doing as well in my tier list. So this is, in my opinion, pretty accurate. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So to summarize, reroll on the units that you want to, assuming that they are really high in the meta or they're in broken category. Number 2, only reroll if you have 1,500 rerolls, and continuously watch the meta, as it moves. And number 3 is you can determine the meta by checking tier lists, the official wiki tier list or my tier list. That's pretty much it. And hopefully this helps you guys out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.